like to consider this. Sharaad and I are speaking to Nicole Wong from MCA, as well as Rais Hussin from Bersatu. Rais, I'm going to let you finish the question that Sharaad posed to you just before the break about the manifesto and why Pakatan Harapan has strayed away from fulfilling the promises.
Actually, if you look at the manifesto, it was crafted with a lot of work. It was a laborious work over a period of 8 months.
And I believe you were the initial part of that.
Yeah, I was chairing, not initial part, I was chairing the manifesto committee, and the final product was came out of my office. So it was a laborious work, engaging with various stakeholders, everyone that you can think of. And finally, it went through the necessary vetting processes with the respective parties in the coalition, then went to the PH Presidential Council twice, which was chaired by Tun Mahathir, and finally the manifesto was unveiled, right? Now, the main gist of the manifesto is you have 10 promises within the 100 days, 60 promises within the 5 years. Remember the word, 10 promises within the 100 days, 60 promises within 5 years, the first tenure of ours. It's a work in progress.
But Rais, the problem seems to be is that the politicians, might finesse this by referring to these kinds of elements. But if the general perception is that the government of the day doesn't really care about its own manifesto, you have a problem.
I think contrary to that, if you look at the first anniversary of what we call Pakatan Harapan in government, Tun Mahathir chose the first opening remark was to highlight the achievement of Pakatan Harapan's manifesto. That shows the importance is there. Work in progress. Boss, remember, I do not like to talk back about what happened in the past, right? But you must accept we have something called inherited liabilities. With that, plus what we want to do, and when the documents was prepared, we were banking on primary sources and secondary sources. The secondary sources is all the accounts of the government that was published. Now, when we become the government, we realize, our debt is not this, this is the problem, that is the problem. So we are working on it. The 10 promises, of which 9 of that has been delivered, only one we are still struggling, that's PTPTN. We are working very hard. We want to find a way. We never said we want to abolish PTPTN. The one who said who wants to abolish PTPTN is Nicole's friend, PAS. Our manifesto didn't say that. Our manifesto says that we defer the payment.
Okay, very quickly, Nicole, just add very quickly.
Add a little bit. Okay, a perfect manifesto, a lovely manifesto has been adopted, accepted by the people. That's why the mandate of the peoples by G14 has been all gone to Pakatan Harapan, because have faith with Pakatan Harapan. But somehow, I know you need time, to fulfill all this, I believe, for 5 years or whatsoever it is. But at this period, but why not, take the manifesto, every one of it, why not take place one by one, but coming out with a lot of, unnecessary suggestions, flying cars,
You mean the focus is not there?
Yeah, the focus is not there.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. Flying car is a rubbish idea.
That's fair.
But the manifesto, I stand, until today, I stand by it. I think PH stand by it. And they're working very, very hard to deliver the manifesto, and we will.
We're trying to cram a lot in a short period of time. I just want to know, Rais, are there going to be repercussions for the current leadership of Pakatan Harapan from the lack of performance that we saw in Tanjung Piai?
I think...
for Dr. Mahathir in particular.
What do you mean by that?
There have been suggestions that he should step down. And
there's been talk of a cabinet reshuffle.
Oh, please. That is very simplistic. I mean, one election, PRK, you want the Prime Minister to go, one election, you want to... No. I think that kind of... Now, there's a lot of noises. My mobile phone did not stop with all the WhatsApp messages. And not only that, in all the WhatsApp groups, a lot of messaging. But for me, that is very simplistic.
Okay, let's go to Nicole. I want to ask Nicole this, because Nicole, your party also has a problem. The chairman of Barisan Nasional is, the advisor to Barisan Nasional is Najib Razak. A man stands accused of plundering state resources, right? Is the MCA going to stand by Najib Razak? And is that a story you can sell to the Malaysian public that suggests that MCA is on the right side of history?
It's so obvious right now. Najib Razak himself is actually facing, facing his own problems, and then eventually he have to be busy with going to court and all that. So I think we have to come back to this, like saying the big manifesto which has been promised it, and somehow the small manifesto which is the promises. The promises has been promised during this PRK. Tanjung Piai by the Pakatan Harapan. I think it's good for Dawsri Vijay Singh right now to actually, as an MP of Tanjung Piai, to keep an eye on that, whether the small manifesto going to take place or not. The allocation has been approved and all that, right? So I think this is important.
So these
right
are,
now.
you mean the promises that were made by Pakatan Harapan in the campaign
because
period?
the big manifesto is 60s manifesto. Need to take place in 5 years' time, right? So for this by-election, I think every promises need to be take place and then fulfilled. Otherwise, Rakyat will be there to monitor.
In the last minute that we have.
Yeah.
Rais, what do you think needs to happen in the short term when it comes to the Pakatan Harapan leadership to turn around the narrative?
I think Pakatan Harapan must immediately work on the 5 important things: cost of living, quality of living, creating of credible jobs, affordable homes, affordable healthcare, and whatever achievements that have been achieved in the manifesto must be properly communicated to the public so the public will know, because they are just the social media landscape have changed all politics. And because of the onslaught of fake news and all the other type of news, we have to have a good strategic communication and to communicate well what we have achieved.
We can have an entire show about the communication
Or
of
the
Pakatan
lack
Harapan.
of. But so no heads will roll. Is that no heads will roll as a consequence of this?
I'm sure there's going to be some post-mortem. I'm sure there's going to be some serious studies. And I'm sure there's going to be lessons learned, drawn and learned. And I'm sure, although I spoke about this in August 2019, for which I was publicly rebuked, now they will start at least listening. Maybe this man is talking something sensible.
I think last but not least, just come up with a checklist for Pakatan Harapan government.
All right, we'll be keeping a close eye on that. All right, thank you so much, guys, for being on the show. That's all the time we have tonight. We'll be back for another episode of Consider This, same time tomorrow. I'm Melisa, Idris with Sharaad, Kuttan, signing off for this evening. Good night.